Welcome to Divine Reveal. Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m., heart pounding, wondering why your life reads like a tragedy while everyone else seems to be living their fairy tale? Have you ever sat in your car after another betrayal, another rejection, another door slammed in your face, and screamed at heaven, "God, what did I do to deserve this?" Have you ever looked in the mirror and whispered the question that haunts every chosen soul? Am I cursed? Or am I just not enough? Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter everything you've believed about your pain. What if I told you the very suffering that almost killed you was heaven's greatest secret weapon? What if every betrayal, every setback, every moment you felt forgotten was God hiding you, preparing you, forging you in the darkness like a blade in the fire? You see, there's a secret heaven tried to hide from the enemy, and that secret has your name written on it. Think about it. A seed doesn't grow in the light. It's buried deep in the dark soil, forgotten, unseen, suffocating in the dirt. But that darkness isn't its grave. It's its womb. And right now, something inside you is about to break through. The enemy thought your silence meant surrender. God was loading your weapon. They thought your isolation meant abandonment. Heaven was positioning you for impact. Every tear you cried in secret, every night you felt alone, every time they counted you out, God was counting you in. Before we go any further, I want to thank every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just giving. You're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message is already stirring something deep in your soul, go ahead and let me know. But here's what's about to shock you. God's hidden plan for your life, it's already been activated. Most people miss the signs because they're looking for comfort when God is sending confirmation. They're waiting for ease when He's delivering elevation. If your spirit is stirred right now, if something inside you is screaming, "This is my time," type 777 in the comments, because tonight we are unlocking what heaven never wanted the enemy to see. Tonight, the secret breaks wide open. Chosen one. Your pain wasn't punishment. It was preparation. And what's coming next will prove it. Stay with me. Do you remember the last family gathering where you walked into that room and felt like a ghost among the living, where your own blood looked right through you like you were furniture that had outlived its purpose? Have you ever sat at your kitchen table at midnight, staring at a phone that never rings, wondering when you became so forgettable, so disposable, so invisible? When was the last time someone asked for your wisdom instead of dismissing it? When they saw your gray hair as a crown instead of a countdown? I see you. Heaven sees you. And tonight, we're going to talk about the pain they pretend doesn't exist. You've given 40 years to a company that handed you a gold watch and showed you the door. They called it restructuring. You called it betrayal. Your children moved 3 states away and visit twice a year if you're lucky. They call it busy lives. You call it abandonment. You raised kids who now treat you like a burden. You loved a spouse who left you for someone younger. You built relationships that crumbled the moment you needed support. And society? Society treats you like an expired coupon, outdated, worthless, ready for the trash. They look at the lines on your face and see deterioration. They see your slower pace and assume weakness. They hear your stories and think irrelevance. But listen closely. Chosen one. They thought the wrinkles on your face meant weakness, but heaven called them battle scars. Every line tells a story of survival. Every gray hair is a trophy of endurance. Every slow step is proof you've walked through hell and kept moving forward. You sat at tables where you brought love, but received silence. You offered your heart and got handed rejection. You extended grace and were given grudges. You thought you were losing your mind, but you were losing your illusions. The enemy whispered lies in your ear. You're too old, you're forgotten, you're finished. But God was writing a different story. Look at Joseph, thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in prison for years. Everyone thought he was finished. But Genesis 50:20 says, "What you meant for evil, God meant for good." The pit wasn't his grave, it was his preparation chamber. Job lost everything: his wealth, his health, his children, his reputation. His own wife told him to curse God and die. His friends accused him of secret sin. But Job 42:10 tells us God restored twice what he had lost. The loss wasn't punishment, it was positioning. David was anointed king, but spent years running for his life in caves. Moses was called to deliver Israel, but spent 40 years in the desert tending sheep. Jesus himself was rejected by his hometown, betrayed by his friend, abandoned by his disciples. You see the pattern? The chosen are always hidden before they're revealed, tested before they're trusted, broken before they're unbreakable. Every tear you've cried in secret, every night you've lain awake wondering if anyone cares, every moment you've felt forgotten, God was forging something inside you that can't be taught in schools or bought with money. He was building character that can only be earned through fire. The enemy thought the storm buried you. God was planting you. What looks like your ending is actually your beginning. What feels like your winter is actually your seed season. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't just about surviving your pain. This is about discovering why you had to walk through it in the first place. Because God doesn't waste suffering. He weaponizes it. And the weapon He's been crafting inside you, it's about to be revealed. You want to know the truth about why your life has been harder than everyone else's, why you've been betrayed deeper, wounded longer, tested beyond what seems fair. Listen carefully, because heaven was hiding a weapon in you. While others got the easy path, you got the fire. While they received comfort, you received crucifixion. And you've been asking God, why me, when you should have been asking, what are you preparing me for? The answer will shock you. You were God's hidden seed. And here's what most people don't understand about seeds. They must be buried in darkness before they can break the surface. The deeper the burial, the stronger the roots. The harder the soil, the more powerful the breakthrough. Your pain wasn't random. It was strategic. God looked across eternity and said, I need someone who can carry what others cannot bear. I need someone refined by fire, forged in isolation, tempered by betrayal. And he chose you. Isaiah 54:17 declares, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But look closer, it doesn't say no weapon will be formed. It says they won't prosper. Every attack, every betrayal, every lie spoken against you became the very force that forged your destiny. Think about it. Diamonds are created under crushing pressure. Steel is strengthened in blazing fire. Your scars aren't evidence of your weakness. They're your armor. Your silence through the storm wasn't surrender. It was your sword being sharpened in secret. Every tear you cried alone, that was heaven collecting evidence. Every sleepless night you endured, that was God building your endurance for what's coming. Every time they counted you out, heaven was counting you in. The secret heaven tried to hide is this: your pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Your trials weren't your downfall, they were your training ground. You weren't being destroyed. You were being developed for a purpose so profound that hell itself had to try to stop it. Right now, something is shifting in the spiritual realm. Can you feel it? The same God who allowed you to be hidden is about to reveal you. The same heaven that seemed silent is about to speak through you. If you're ready to stop calling your trials a curse and start seeing them as your crown, hit the like button now. Declare to heaven, I receive my hidden plan. But before you can fully step into this revelation, you need to understand something crucial about the enemy's biggest fear. You want to know why your life has been under attack? You want to know why the betrayals came from the people closest to you? You want to know why every door you approached seemed to slam shut just as you reached for the handle? Here's the truth that'll shake you to your core. The wolves never chase the weak. They hunt the strongest. Listen to me, chosen one. The enemy doesn't waste his ammunition on people who pose no threat. He doesn't send his best warriors after ordinary souls. But you've been dodging bullets since the day you were born because hell recognized your assignment before heaven revealed it to you. Think about David. That boy was anointed king in his father's house, oil still dripping from his forehead. But what happened next? Saul hunted him like a wild animal for years. Why? Because the enemy knew that shepherd boy carried a kingdom in his DNA. Every cave David hid in, every narrow escape, every moment he could have killed Saul but chose mercy instead. Hell was trying to stop a dynasty before it started. Moses, pulled from the river as a baby, raised in Pharaoh's house. But when God called him at that burning bush, what happened? 40 years in the wilderness. 40 years. Not because God forgot about him, but because the enemy was terrified of what would happen when that stuttering shepherd walked back into Egypt with heaven's authority. And Jesus? The Son of the Most High God was rejected by his own hometown, betrayed by his inner circle, abandoned by his disciples, and nailed to a cross by the very people he came to save. Why? Because hell knew that Friday wasn't the end. It was the setup for Sunday's resurrection. You see the pattern? The greater the calling, the fiercer the opposition. Now let me ask you something that's going to cut deep. How many times have you been manipulated by people who claim to love you? How many times have you been betrayed by those who knew your deepest secrets? How many times have you been exhausted by battles you never asked to fight? That wasn't random. That wasn't bad luck. That was targeted spiritual warfare. The enemy studies you. He knows your weaknesses, your triggers, your breaking points. He sends people into your life not to love you, but to locate your oil, not to build you up, but to drain you down, not to celebrate your gifts, but to sabotage your calling. He floods your mind with distractions when you're about to pray. He sends exhaustion when you're about to break through. He whispers doubt when you're about to step into faith. He orchestrates betrayal when you're about to trust again. But here's what the enemy never calculated. Every attack he launched against you only proved how dangerous you are. Every betrayal only revealed how precious you are to heaven. Every setback only demonstrated how powerful your comeback would be. They thought they were writing your obituary. Heaven was writing your origin story. You weren't being destroyed, chosen one. You were being developed. Every tear was developing your character. Every betrayal was developing your discernment. Every disappointment was developing your dependence on God alone. The enemy's biggest fear isn't your success, it's your surrender to God's plan. It's not your strength, it's your submission to divine authority. It's not your talent, it's your trust in heavenly timing. Because when a chosen one stops fighting God's process and starts flowing with his purpose, when they stop questioning the pain and start embracing the preparation, when they stop running from the fire and start letting it forge them into pure gold, that's when hell panics. That's when demons tremble. That's when the enemy realizes his attacks backfired. You want to know what terrifies the kingdom of darkness? It's this moment, right now, when you finally understand that every weapon formed against you only sharpened your edge. When you realize that every giant that rose up only proved you carry the spirit of a giant killer. When you discover that every storm that tried to drown you only taught you to walk on water. They didn't break you, they built your legend. Every scar is a testimony. Every limp is proof you survived the wrestling match. Every quiet season was heaven loading your weapon. Every painful goodbye was God making room for your divine hello. The enemy thought he was burying you. God was planting you. And now it's harvest time. If you feel this word exploding inside you, if your spirit is rising up and declaring no more defeat, comment, "I will rise," and let the enemy see your declaration. Let hell know that their greatest fear just became reality. Because, chosen one, the secret is finally out. Now, I'm about to blow your mind with a truth that will change everything you thought you knew about your story. Are you ready for this? Turn with me to Jeremiah 29:11, because God has been trying to tell you something for decades. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future." Did you catch that? He knows. Past tense. Not "I'm figuring it out as we go." Not "let me see what happens." He knows your whole life, every tear, every betrayal, every sleepless night. God has been orchestrating a masterpiece, and you've been living inside it without even knowing it. You thought you were broken. God was building you. You thought you were forgotten. Heaven was positioning you. You thought your scars were ugly. God was weaving them into someone else's healing. Listen to me, chosen one. Right now, at this very moment, God is aligning doors that have been locked for years. He's orchestrating divine appointments that will blow your mind. He's moving people into position who will recognize the gold in you that others called garbage. The same pain that isolated you is about to become the bridge that connects you to your destiny. Your life isn't random chaos, it's a symphony. Every note, even the dissonance, even the parts that made you wince and cry, they're all building toward a crescendo that will leave heaven standing and applauding. The broken notes, they were necessary. The silence between movements, that was God building suspense for what's coming next. And to my seasoned warriors listening right now, the ones they said were past your prime, let me speak directly to your heart. Your age is not decline, it's your crown. Every gray hair is a badge of honor. Every line on your face tells a story of victory. Your years aren't wasted, their wisdom multiplied, experience concentrated, power refined. While the young ones are still figuring out who they are, you know who you are. While they're collecting degrees, you've collected depth. While they're building resumes, you've built character. The world might worship youth, but heaven honors endurance. You survived decades of attacks that would have destroyed lesser souls. You raised families, built careers, weathered storms, buried loved ones, and you're still here. Still breathing, still believing, still fighting. That's not luck, that's divine protection. Do you know what God calls someone who's been through what you've been through and still has faith? He calls them dangerous to the enemy's plans. He calls them weapons of mass instruction. He calls them generals in his army. The enemy tried to convince you that your best days were behind you. God is about to prove that your greatest days are ahead of you. At 50, 60, 70, 80, you're not winding down, you're winding up. You're not in your sunset years, you're in your sunrise years. Here comes the revelation that's going to shake you to your core. For years, you've been asking God, what's the plan? Show me the blueprint. Give me the roadmap. And heaven has been whispering back, you are the plan. You are the blueprint. You are the roadmap. The secret heaven tried to hide from the enemy wasn't a strategy or a timeline or a location. The secret was you, your resilience, your faith under fire, your ability to love after betrayal, your capacity to hope after disappointment, your unbreakable spirit. You've been looking for God's plan like it was something outside of you, something you needed to find or receive or earn. But the plan isn't coming to you, the plan is living in you. It always has been. Every breath you've taken, every step you've made, every choice you've faced, you have been God's hidden plan all along. The enemy fought so hard to destroy you because he knew if you ever discovered this truth, if you ever realized you weren't just surviving the storm but controlling it, his whole operation would crumble. But why is this revelation happening now? Why is heaven pulling back the curtain at this moment in your life? My friend, we've traveled through the darkness together tonight. We've uncovered the lies, exposed the enemy's schemes, and revealed heaven's secret plan that's been hiding in your pain all along. But now, right now, we stand at the most dangerous moment of your entire life. This is your threshold moment. Behind you lies the life you've always known, safe, predictable, familiar, but small. Ahead of you stretches God's hidden plan for your life, vast, dangerous, breathtaking, and you cannot have both. For 63 years, Martha from Tennessee carried the shame of her father's abandonment. For 47 years, James from Ohio believed the lie that he wasn't smart enough. For 38 years, Susan from California let her divorce define her worth. Tonight, they're all typing 777-inch these comments because they've finally seen it. Their pain wasn't their prison, it was their preparation. But here's what terrifies me for you right now. You could close this video, go back to your old life, and pretend you never heard heaven's secret. You could choose the familiar ache over the unfamiliar breakthrough. Millions do it every single day. Don't you dare be one of them. The Israelites stood at the edge of the promised land for 40 years, because they were more afraid of giants than they were hungry for promises. They died in the wilderness, clutching their complaints instead of claiming their covenant. They had the map to destiny in their hands and chose to stay lost. I'm looking at you through this screen, and I can see it in your eyes. You're tired of the wilderness. You're exhausted from wandering. Your soul is screaming for something more than survival. You weren't created to just endure, precious one. You were forged to overcome. Remember that seed we talked about at the beginning, buried in the dark, forgotten, invisible to every eye except God's? Well, listen to me carefully. The season of hiding is over. The soil is cracking. The breakthrough is breaking through. Every betrayal you survived, that was your root system growing deeper. Every silent season, that was your strength multiplying in secret. Every scar they left on your heart, those aren't wounds anymore, they're windows. Windows for God's light to shine through you into someone else's darkness. You think you're broken. You're not broken, you're open. Open for God to pour His glory through the cracks they thought would destroy you. But heaven is holding its breath right now, waiting for your answer. Because God never forces destiny on anyone. He offers it, He presents it, He makes it available. But you have to reach out and take it. Look at David, just a shepherd boy with a slingshot. But when Goliath roared, David didn't retreat. He ran toward the giant because he knew something everyone else had forgotten. The battle belongs to the Lord. Your Goliath has been roaring at you for years. Fear, rejection, failure, inadequacy. Tonight, you stop running from your giant and start running toward your breakthrough. But I need you to understand something that will shake you to your core. Right now, in this moment, there are people, maybe someone in your family, maybe someone you work with, maybe someone you've never met, who are drowning in the exact same pain you just climbed out of. They're sitting in their car at 3 a.m., crying the same tears you cried. They're whispering the same desperate prayers you prayed. And God has been preparing you to be their lifeline. Your story, your scars, your survival, it's not just for you, it's for them. You are someone's miracle walking around in human skin. The secret heaven tried to hide wasn't just that you're chosen, it's that you're chosen to choose others, to reach back into the pit and pull someone else out, to shine your light into someone else's darkness, to prove to someone else that breakthrough is possible. Isaiah 41:10 echoes through eternity. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Did you hear that? God himself is upholding you. Not your strength, his strength. Not your wisdom, his wisdom. Not your plan, his plan. The plan is no longer hidden, chosen one. It's unleashed, and it carries your name, your story, your scars, your survival. It carries the fingerprints of every tear you cried and the echo of every prayer you prayed. This is your moment. This is your hour. This is your time to stop being a victim of your story and start being the author of someone else's breakthrough. If you're ready, if you're really ready to walk into this hidden plan that's been waiting for you since before you were born, type Amen in the comments right now. Subscribe to this channel because your journey is just beginning. Share this message with someone who needs to know they're not forgotten, they're not forsaken, they're chosen. Tonight, heaven's secret is out. And beloved, it lives in you. The threshold awaits. Step through. Before you close this video, let me leave you with 3 truths that must anchor in your soul tonight. Let me ask you this. What would you do if you truly knew that God's plan for your life was already in motion? What would you dare to believe? What would you finally let go of? Let's pray together. Father, I place my hands on every person watching this right now. Touch their hearts with your healing presence. Where they've been wounded, bring wholeness. Where they've been betrayed, restore trust. Where they've been silenced, give them a voice that cannot be shaken. Lord, you see the tears they've cried in secret, the prayers they've whispered in desperation. You know their pain, and you know their purpose. Open doors that no man can shut. Align divine appointments. Release the breakthrough they've been praying for. Give them strength for today and hope for tomorrow. In Jesus' name, they are blessed, they are chosen, they are loved. Amen. Thank you for staying with me through this entire journey tonight. Your presence here matters more than you know. If this message touched your heart, please subscribe to this channel. Your destiny story is just beginning to unfold. Share this video with someone who needs to hear heaven's secret. Drop a comment below and tell us how God is moving in your life. Ask questions. We're here to walk with you. Remember, you're not just watching a video, you're part of a community that believes in breakthrough. You are loved, you are chosen, you are not alone. Until next time, keep walking in your calling.